Whoa! Good day, you lads and lassies. We are back with something that I think might interest a few of y'all. This is MaltyMaldy with the GCA. Like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever. We're going to talk about actors who you may not agree with politically. That doesn't matter in this case. It seems like everyone is getting sick and tired. And tired and sick. And repeat the process. Vomit in the toilet, get a respirator, take another booster shot. No one likes it anymore. So here's the first thing that we're going to talk about, and then we'll save this other one for later because I think this other person has a little bit more of a base take. Sean Penn says he went 15 years miserable on sets after Milk, real life persona, a gay politician, could not play a gay role today due to a timid and artless policy towards the human imagination. Almost like actors aren't playing themselves, or actors didn't used to play themselves. Now everyone needs to be represented by all the attributes, all the physical characteristics, all the immutable characteristics. That's the only way that anyone can identify with a character anymore. Well, you're not identifying with a character, are you now? No, now you're identifying with someone who you think looks like you in the mirror. And let's be honest, they're probably more attractive than you ugly snaggletooth. So let's go down from this. And Sean Penn, he says that filming Milk was the last time that he had a good time on a film set. And that was 15 years ago. Probably longer now. But he earned critical acclaim for it. And he also says, no, it couldn't happen at a time like this. Tremendous overreach. It's a timid and artless policy towards the human imagination. Now, what exactly does he mean by that? But I do want him to speak for himself. Penn said it was because he felt like an actor who is playing a leading role and is a known actor and is being paid well and has a leadership position on a film. You got to show up with energy, be a bodyguard for the director because you want the vision that you've talked about, contractor signed, you want that to come to life. You don't want outside interference. Hello, modern Hollywood studios. I was faking my way through that stuff, and that was exhausting. Mostly what I thought was just, what time is it? When are we going to get off? Everyone has felt that when they're at work. But I didn't know how I was going to keep my house running or travel freely or things like that if he didn't do that. So he kind of was just going through the motions once again. So what I can interject into here and let him speak for himself, he says that straight actors playing queer characters, well, he wasn't queer, he's a full-on poof. The Hershey Highway had all lanes open, has become too hotly debated in Hollywood. And that's kind of exactly where we're going. When it comes to all this, outside interference, and just the fact that, oh my goodness, if you're not that exact thing, then of course you can't pretend. You've never played make-believe. You've never had an imaginary friend. You've never imagined something in your mind. It wasn't exactly true to your life, but you had an imagination. Oh, that's never happened before in the history of mankind. And just look inside yourself. How many times have you come up with scenarios or things that have never happened to you, but could happen, or maybe this would be cool? Fantasy, no matter what. Dreams that you have whenever you're unconscious. Your subconscious creates them for you. Do you reject that? Do you take a drill to your brain and bore out those images? No. You frickin' don't. And that's the whole point of entertainment, is it is escapism. It is getting away from the real world where people can be better than what they are in real life. Where people have less flaws. They still have flaws. There's always something they need to rise above. But the thing that they need to rise above is something that is bigger than themselves. It's bigger than their period. I'm just a little testy and moody right now. It's bigger than, like, golly, it's freaking hot outside. It's like, don't touch me, baby. It's like just don't touch me. I don't want skin on skin contact, even if you're just trying to cuddle up with me, because it's like I'm sweating and I'm just irritable right now. Let's get in the AC first. We don't want any of that crap anymore, because it has to be exactly according to these people. This is what people like Sean Penn are talking about now. There's also something else that I want to bring to light, and it's another actor. We're not going to talk about politics or anything like that. We're talking about another actor who is seeing something not necessarily on the political side or the culture war side, but he has something to say. And this is William H. Macy. If you don't know him, Jurassic Park 3, Ellen, if you ever watched the original Fargo, if you ever watched Thank You for Smoking, he's been in a ton of stuff. Shameless. So during a recent appearance on the podcast, Films to Barry with Brett Goldstein, the actor, William H. Macy, went on record with his distaste for how extreme movie violence has gotten over the years, and why he has distaste for it. Is that I think Hollywood is doing a lot of damage to the world with our portrayal of violence. It's not true. So what I think he's meaning by this is not true violence. It doesn't hold the gravitas, and it's not a good place to be lying when it comes to our portrayal. There we go. The actor then admitted his stance has affected his work to the point he becomes a pain on sets, especially when making westerns. When I started off, there were 9 bodies on page 4, and I lobbied for us to go back to the real West and not to westerns. Don't imitate films. I kind of agree with this. And before we go any further, since he mentioned westerns, I want to tell y'all and maybe bring your attention to a western. It has Ed Harris and I believe Viggo Mortensen is the other one. I could be completely wrong, and I'm just gonna like blur over that. But it's called Appaloosa. Now that is a western, very little violence, but the violence there is freaking brutal. It's a really good film, and I think this may be something along the lines of where he's referencing things. So he also cited the infamous shootout at OK Corral in Tombstone. If you haven't watched that movie, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Where the number of deaths can be counted on one hand. 4 guys. It's like most of the scripts you get, there's 4 guys on the first page. And when he's saying 4 guys on the first page, that means 4 deaths. There's 4 people getting offed on the first page, because one of the tenets of screenwriting is within the first 5 to 10 pages, you need to grab the person who might give you an offer, who might want to fund your project. You want to give them the first 5 to 10 pages, something that automatically grabs their attention. So a lot of people go overboard with it, and they're just like, well, let's just make it a bloodbath right in the beginning. So that doesn't work for every movie or every story type. But it's kind of it's just the way that writing has become nowadays. And he's been in the game so long that he's seen that, and he's like, seen this before. Doesn't matter what happens later, because you've already turned me off in the first 3 to 4 minutes of the film that supposedly you want me to be a part of. So, like, screw that. So, you kill 18 people. There's nothing more dramatic than that. You kill 18 people. It's just the P word. The only thing you can do to make that more dramatic is just kill more and more and more. I think he has good intentions when it comes to this. I think he might be a little bit off, and this would actually be a great topic of discussion for more than just me to say. Because I think I would break it down into, it's not necessarily the amount of deaths that are happening, but what is the gravitas? What is the gravity of those deaths? How is it being portrayed? Does it fit the story later on? If you're just killing just to kill, or if it's like the beginning of the comedy Major Payne, he's just like running through crazily with a machine gun and just like blopping people down. It's like, well, technically, if you count that body count, it's probably like 20 in that first little scene, but it's also played comedically. So I think what he's talking more about is things wanting to be grittier. and maybe he's just tired of like the John Wick stuff where it's just like headshots everywhere and everyone's going a little bit too crazy with it. But if it fits the story, I don't think anyone should have an issue with it. So that would be a great debate to have with him. The star of such films, which, yeah, he's been in a lot of silent films. I'm surprised that they didn't put Fargo in here with their burst of violence things. He offered a solution. So this guy's actually offering a solution for a series that might inject truth and realism back into the picture. I want to do a thing where you take 3 episodes to have you fall in love with one of the major characters and then shoot him. But don't write him off the show. So what he's saying exactly right here is that you don't shoot him in the head. You don't kill him. You just have him shot. What I don't think that he's seen before, like they've already done this, and there's nothing new under the sun, but they did this pretty exquisitely in the FX show Legit with Jim Jeffries, where he gets shot after a show for making jokes, and someone gets mad at the jokes, and they go and meet him in the parking lot later, and they shoot him. He doesn't die, but it does have him come to realizations. It does exactly what Macy is saying right here. And every week, you could see what a bullet does to a human body. You can see how it wrecks his marriage. You can see how he gets infections. You can see how he has to learn to walk and use his hands again. You can see the deep, dark depressions. Now, I am totally on board with this. That is very interesting. It sounds like there's some good depth and some good lore and some good storytelling that could come out of something like that. So it's not just strictly for visceral effect. But you got to have someone in charge that knows what they're doing, knows how to write, and you have to have a studio that trusts your vision. What do you guys think about any of this? Any discourse you can put in the comments down below. Or you can also join our Discord where we are much more free with our discussions. Thanks, YouTube. This is MaltyMaldy from the GCA. Heart you guys so much. Hope you all have a great night, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye. What up, Ma? I couldn't even keep a straight face. Are they friends? She might be a little too young for him. Oh, wait, no, that's a different one. Dakota Johnson, not Dakota Fanning.